Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. I am Olivia from the Ruji fam, and today we're going to talk about all things Disneyland. So we just got back from our very first Disneyland trip and it was amazing. I highly recommend going to Disneyland if you love Disney, if you are a Walt Disney World person like we are, or if you just want to experience a Disney park and you live closer to Disneyland, then definitely make the trip out there. It is so magical and there is so much to do there and so much to enjoy. So today we are going to give you our top 5 tips for a first timer going to Disneyland. Since we were first timers, we watched a lot of other Disney YouTuber vlogs that are local to Disneyland and highly recommend doing that. That is so important to do because they're there all the time. They're the ones who know it best. But we have 5 tips for you as a first timer that helped us. So the first tip goes into when you are planning your trip. And that tip is to stay at a Disney resort. They only have 3 in California and they are pretty pricey compared to the other hotels that are right on the other side of Disneyland in just as comparable walking distance. But you get that extra 30 minutes in the morning and it is so worth it. We got to walk right on Space Mountain. We walked right onto other rides. We got to go right into Fantasyland while they were still holding everyone that was not a resort guest, and it was amazing. The proximity of those hotels is wonderful. We stayed at the Grand Californian Hotel and we had the best view of Disney's California Adventure. It was so beautiful and I wish we could have stayed there the whole time, but we used our DVC points, which is Disney Vacation Club points, if you have not heard of that before. And that is what made it possible for us to stay there, because I know that that hotel is definitely a splurge. We would not splurge on that normally. And then they also have the Disneyland Hotel, which is like iconic. It's beautiful. And then they have the Paradise Pier Hotel, which is being changed into a Pixar theme hotel currently. So there are 3 hotels to choose from, but those 30 extra minutes in the morning, so worth it. We loved being able to just like walk from our hotel into California Adventure or right into downtown Disney. The convenience is unmatched at Walt Disney World, I feel like. And we've stayed at almost every hotel at Walt Disney World, but those are just so close and it was so great. Tip number 2 is to buy Genie Plus. I know some people will say it's not worth it, it's an extra cost, but to us it was really worth it. We really enjoyed using Genie Plus. I feel like when we used Genie Plus, we were able to do every single thing we wanted to do, and we could have done more, but we chose to take breaks or just eat, just different things that were taking up our time instead of going and getting on more rides. But to us, Genie Plus was really worth it. Our daughter got to ride Space Mountain 6 times over the course of our trip because we had Genie Plus, and because, like I mentioned before in the other tip, we were there for early entry and we were able to like walk right on Space Mountain and even do rider swap, and it was still no line. It was perfect. Tip number 3 is to go back at some point and take a break in your hotel room. We typically like to go back and take a break after lunchtime, maybe after the parade if we want to hang out that long, and then just go back to our hotel, either nap or rest, watch a show, and then go back to the park right before dinner time, and then we'll eat in the park. This just allows everyone to rest their feet, rest their whole body, and just get ready to go back for the night and have a couple more hours of fun after dinner. I highly recommend doing this. We do this in Walt Disney World too. You could even go to the pool if you wanted to. I know Ellison loves to go to the pool, so she did do that one day. But we really enjoy going back and taking a break. It makes your vacation feel more like a vacation and not running around a theme park all day. Tip number 4 is to make a plan, but also know that you might be throwing that plan out the window. Definitely do your research. We kind of came up with a plan of like what we really wanted to do, and what we wanted to do was based on what we could not do in Walt Disney World. So those were our priority rides, and then from there we kind of made a plan like for each day. So for example, like we really wanted to do the Fantasyland rides that were about to close for refurbishment, like Alice in Wonderland that we don't have in Disney World, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And so we went right there on our first day, did those. You want to have a plan. You want to look up ahead of time what rides you want to ride, what rides your children can ride based on height requirements, and then where they are in the parks too, because you do not want to be running from Tomorrowland all the way over to Adventureland and then back to Tomorrowland and then to Toontown. You don't want to be doing that, because then you're going to be grumpy, your feet are going to hurt really bad. You want to strategize which ride you're riding and when. So if you are riding something in Tomorrowland like Space Mountain, then you might want to go for Buzz Lightyear right afterwards. Or if you're in Fantasyland, you might want to knock all those out at once. That's what we did. We went straight to Fantasyland one morning, and then we did Alice in Wonderland, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Snow White, and Pinocchio. And then we decided to head out of Fantasyland and go into Toontown. We knew that we didn't want to be walking back and forth all day. So you have to strategize. But I said you might have to throw this plan out the window, and that is very true. I had a plan of going to Cars Land on our second DCA day with my parents, and we were gonna go ride the Mater ride and then head to Radiator Racers. And that did not work out. We rode the Mater ride, and then the Racers ride was down for a huge chunk of the morning. We knew once all the cast members were standing out there in front of the ride, we knew, we were like, okay, this is not gonna open soon. So we decided to go to Web Slingers, and we just kind of went about our day. We ended up not being able to ride that ride that day just because we did not want to buy individual Lightning Lane for it, but we had done it the day before. So it still worked out for us, but you have to be flexible, and you just have to know you'll still have a good time, but not everything is gonna work out. And also, you are going to want to know that your kids might decide they don't want to do something, and it's okay. You don't have to go on every single ride. You don't have to force them to go on all of the big rides because you want to go on all the big rides. Do rider swap, do single rider, ride alone. Any of those things work. If your kids are happier, then you are happier because you're not as stressed out about them being mad or crying on a ride. Fifth and final tip is to know what you want to eat in the parks and have a general idea of where you can find it. So Disneyland has a lot of specialty snack items that are specific to their location, and they also have a lot of specific quick service food as well. So definitely know ahead of time what are some things you might want to eat, and know where you can find them. So you're not like, hey, I really wanted that specialty churro, but you're not even in the right park. Maybe it's only in California. Or maybe you really want something that is sold in Disneyland, but you're in California Adventure that day. So definitely know ahead of time what are some things you might want to eat, and what are some treats you might want to have, and where you can find those. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video of our 5 tips to help a first timer in Disneyland. If you have not already, please hit the thumbs up button to like this video, and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.